Hey,
Hey,
y'all.
Hey, y'all.
I'm here writing my 2 books and a couple poems. And I'm going all crazy as a haunt actor.
I feel like a crack.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to You Can't Sit With Us. I am Hex's Daemon. This is Akia Daemon, and that is Mother de la Mort. And we have a person in the background right now with no mic.
It's a sunshine.
It's a sunshine. It's a ray of sunshine.
Yay!
On my shoulder.
I
Makes
almost
me
hit
happy.
when I was trying to go to these. Oh. Okay. I just see somebody that I gotta say hi to when we get there.
Oh.
First off,
the weed just kicked in. I'm sorry.
Fine.
I just
let's
forgot everything.
say hi to people before we get started with Manson.
Yeah, let's do that.
Dizzy, what's up? How are
Dizzy,
you?
what's up, man?
Hello.
Kisa. Hello.
Hello, Kisa.
Oh, hey, look. The roof's bleed red.
Isn't it like a hat on a hat or something?
The Voodoo Queen. Hey.
Hello.
Queen.
Shelby, hello.
Hey, sis.
Hello, Shelby.
Kisa, crack it.
Crack it.
Calvin, what's
Calvin.
up? Hey.
Hey, Calvin.
I
Yes,
thought he
guys.
changed his name to Lawnmower Woman for a second. I'm really stoned. I'm sorry, Calvin. We love you. Oldest fan right here, too.
Oh, man. Well, I'm sorry you're all swollen, but I'm glad you're here.
Yeah,
Yes.
glad you're here.
We are happy you're here. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Damn, Hexes.
Damn.
Karan!
Hey, Karan.
What's
Hey,
up?
Karan.
How are you? This is awesome. Hi, you wonderful people.
So, that's what I was going to say. So, we have a busy
Yes, we
week
are.
this week, a super busy week that starts tomorrow.
Well,
actually,
it started already.
It started last week when we started cleaning everything. And so we're doing the podcast tonight. Tomorrow night, we're meeting up with Tyler, Vice, and Erica. Scurry Face, they're all coming down here to California, and we're picking them up tomorrow. So
That's going to be so much fun. You guys are going to have a blast.
I can't wait for 17th Oregon. It's going to be freaking awesome. Absolutely awesome. It's a fun haunt.
I'm sorry, Shelby.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just saw that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
no, sorry. I was looking at comments while he was talking. I kind of like hyper focused on them. We are about to go through a really fun haunt. And they are in a new location this year. So like I can't
It's
even
be new for you guys again.
Yeah, it's gonna be like
we were checking their website out or their stuff on them, and they emphasize that the most scary ones, they're like they're taken out. And I'm sitting there looking at a cow. I was on TikTok, and I was looking at I was sitting there looking at a cow. I was like, they're not taking them out. They made them more scary, and they're gonna get us off our defense and stuff like that. We're like, everything's good. And you get in there, no, it's gonna be that plus more with that. So that's what I'm speculating.
I do believe that like when they say those rooms are gone, they're gone. But I think it's just because they're at a new location and they're probably not in the same order.
Well, very true. Very true. And I mean, to keep your relevance, I would think in any haunted house, you're going to have your traditional rooms that people really like. And then you're going to have to add in something new every year to, draw the repeat business back. So
yeah,
I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun.
I've been all the years that they've been open, except for what, 2?
Yeah, because when you originally told me about them, I was like, dude, I'm not going to go there because the minute they try to cut my hair, I'm going to be mad. And then we found out it was like, it's voluntary. That's the only room that's voluntary. You don't have to do. We're like, okay, cool. But someone has to from the group. They said someone has to from the group be willing to get 17 shaved into it. So
I let my hair grow out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna allow it.
Y'all are gonna have so much fun. Are y'all gonna videotape any of it? At least like maybe while you guys are waiting in line or anything.
We will probably do it like as we show up, so you guys can see like the outside, just because that's what we did last year when we were there anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to show you, of course.
Right.
But there's no like
You don't want to take your phone in there because it will get wrecked.
they
No,
can't.
I understand that.
Not because they do anything to the phone. It's that their rooms are that physical.
Yeah.
And it will
Well,
get
and if
wrecked.
anything, like
It
last
will
time,
get
like that
wrecked.
last room.
Oh, yes. I was so glad I left my phone in the car. I was like,
I did not
after
leave
what
my
happened,
phone in the car. But to be fair, I had dropped it in an AM PM toilet earlier. So
Okay, for some reason, I feel like that has a story.
we were headed down to 17th door and I went to go to the bathroom and it fell out of my pocket right into the toilet. And I had to reach into an AM PM toilet.
She comes out,
Oh.
babe,
And I like
babe.
put rubbing alcohol all over it.
I dropped my phone in the toilet. I was like, well, that's your phone that you're holding for the rest of your life. I am not touching it.
Putting up to your face.
Wow.
Have fun with it, talking on speakerphone.
So
Hey, Tia.
this is a good I wish we could come see you too.
But you can. You're only what?
Not that far.
Hop and skip, basically. I mean, you're one state over from Arizona, right? So
I
Are
heard
y'all trying to tell the voodoo queen she needs to start hopping and skipping, or are y'all gonna hop and skip?
we
I'll
will.
hop and skip to Colorado. They got a good pop.
Well, they do have a mercy necklace, but come on. No. I'm gonna so Mr. Google says, what are we talking about? And I thought that it was I was gonna use it for our segue into our show, but he realized we were talking about the 17th door and he worked there.
Oh,
Ah,
nice.
Nice. I'm jealous. I would love to have worked there, but I'm not in that area anymore.
Hello. How are you?
How are you?
So, guys, just to let you guys know, I guess we're just going to go into it. Into Manson. We didn't get a segue this time.
No.
This is our podcast. So after this, we only get the comments when you pay us.
Oh.
I'm going to keep saying that until I get $1.
Until we get $1.
We'll get the
I
comments.
got $1. I got $1. I got $1. Hey, 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 hey.
We get the comments gradually, but like we try
we
unsuccessfully, but try to stay focused on at least part of what we're trying to get done.
But there's always a chick with her hand over squirrel's ass
going hey guys, I'm sorry, but do you want to see the Italian Loch Ness monster? Go like this.
Yeah.
Go like that.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Hey, I'm Sicilian.
I know you're Sicilian.
I can make fun of myself.
I was about to say, I know you're a Sicilian.
Oh my God. So here we go down the rabbit hole before we can even get on the topic. So I was watching this video the other day and they were talking to like, how do you say this word in Italian and how do you say that word in Italian? And they got to pregnant. And I was like, oh, I know this one. Pragante. Of course, that was not it. That was not it.
Pragante. Where's the Luigi board?
Luigi board.
I tried looking
Do
up
I have
the
to
Luigi
get it
board.
from a witch or a vegan?
I tried looking up the Luigi board the other day so I could just laugh at something because I was really pissed because I was driving around. I was already mad at everybody because everyone was in my way and I was just trying to get to my destination. And then I was like, I'm just going to watch this. And I couldn't find the Luigi board. I think they took it down.
No.
Maybe back up probably.
Sad panda.
But yeah, I couldn't find it.
Gummit.
Like it was not popping up.
Nice.
See, I used to do that years ago before YouTube was even a thing. You could get it. I can't remember where you could find those little short squids like that, but it was the angry strawberry. Do you remember the angry strawberry?
Yes.
And it always made me feel better when I was mad at somebody.
There was a strawberry on a Family Guy that got violated by a worm, but that's another story.
That was Peter in his past
That's
life.
a whole different other strawberry.
That was Peter in his past life, and he goes, "He was my neighbor, and he violated me."
The worm just started eating from the bottom, and he's all, "What? No!"
He goes,
no.
"Oh, hi, Mr. Worm. What a wonderful day."
He was my neighbor.
All right.
I trusted him.
He violated me.
I'm so sorry. I may borrow the trailer for this.
Okay.
Where did we leave off?
Where did we leave off?
We left off at San Francisco. He just made it to Haight Ashbury. Did some LSD.
We talked about.
Did a dance. He did do a dance. He did.
We talked about his involvement with Scientology, actually.
What about Dance Dance Revolution?
We know about DDR.
Yeah, but his involvement with that.
He created it. Duh.
Very much did.
There you go. You heard it here first.
Yep.
Charles Manson created Dance Dance Revolution.
Google it.
It's true.
It's on the internet. It's true. If it's said on a podcast, you better take it.
I believe it. All right. So we're gonna start with talking about the San Francisco followers.
He actually didn't he get he got a good amount of followers at first, right? It was more than what he ended. It was like around 100 or 200, wasn't it?
Well, we'll find out right now.
Yeah.
Almost 100 at one time.
Yeah, there was quite a few.
Everyone wants to party and do LSD, man. and
can you guess?
He had chlamydia.
Mostly were young women, some as young as 14.
Shocker.
That was his age of consent back then. That wasn't a young woman. That was an old spinster.
I know.
I'm kidding.
All right. So we left off talking about his involvement with Scientology and how he had started studying Scientology while he was incarcerated. So, and he even said that it was too crazy for him.
Oh, that's yeah.
And
can you imagine a religion that is too crazy for? We already said it. I'm sorry, Natalie already said it.
A religion too crazy for Charles Manson. You know what?
Can you imagine? My jaw would have hit the floor. What?
Like who decided what?
The fact that he probably had to have said this at one point, he was like, he's probably said, "Man, Scientology is too crazy for me." And then someone fact checked it. It was like, "Holy shit, this actually happened."
Yeah.
He sat down for 150 hours of auditing.
He really did.
He really did this.
So maybe he was just sleeping.
They caught him on the downside of all the drugs.
Yeah, on the downside.
He crashed. Yeah. It was the 150 hours that he crashed. They just stuck the batons in his hands.
They're all ta-da.
And then he just zipped right back up.
He wakes up doing like this, before he starts dancing again.
I'm sorry, Charlie Manson is so freaking hilarious to me.
I bet he would do really good. I bet he would have done really good. Is those guys, that wave in the planes?
I was thinking wacky inflatable.
They would have handed him two of those cone, flashlights.
But to do that, at the time you would have been drafted, and I don't think he was.
And it would have been a shit show. Those planes would have been landed all over the damn plane.
Right.
Remind me to send you this video of a guy dancing with the that
Didn't
guy.
He start twerking in it too?
Yes, and he dead dropped.
He pop locked and
dropped. He full on dead drops at the end, and so this one guy stitched the video because it was on TikTok originally. And he was acting like he was trying to follow in a plane, and the plane's all and it's showing people in the background all.
Hello, Nadine.
That's funny.
Nadine, hello. We might as well go back to some comments here.
All right, get to the comments.
Squirrel. Do a little dance, make a little love.
Get squirrel tonight.
This is get squirrel tonight. Apparently, Moto has Mr. Giggles' ice cream truck. So we should shave someone's head. That'll happen tomorrow.
Not tomorrow.
Okay, sorry. The day after tomorrow. Sorry.
Yeah, there's other stuff going on tomorrow night.
But yeah, that'll happen soon. Couple days, I've been waiting for the haircut here.
All right.
And they're not watching right now, but brunch. So let's get back into this. Squirrel. So following his release from prison on March 22nd, 1967, Manson moved to San Francisco, where with the help of a prison acquaintance, he moved into an apartment in Berkeley. In prison, bank robber Alvin Karpis had taught Manson to play the steel guitar. Living mostly by begging, Manson soon became acquainted with Mary Bruner, who was a 23-year-old graduate of University of Wisconsin-Madison. Bruner was working as a library assistant at the University of California, Berkeley, and Manson moved in with her. He then met Lynn Frome, who we all know as Squeaky Frome, who was a runaway teen, and convinced her to live with the two of them.
Dude, what is it with scraggly guys like Rock Terrio and Charles Manson that they can just get any chick they want in a heartbeat? Like, it doesn't matter. They
and these girls will be fighting over them.
Yes.
It's so weird.
I mean, we know why they were fighting over Rock Terrio is because he was abusive as fuck. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, and all us ladies love that.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Look, if you're ever mean to a person, they'll stay with you forever. I promise you.
Look, I'm over here trying to scratch my head. How is it every single person that has taught Manson to play an instrument was some sort of like gangster, mobster, or like big time criminal?
Yeah. Well,
you know, that's the second one. That's the second one when we learned to play guitar, and now it's steel drum.
Was it still drums, or I thought it was still guitar?
Steel guitar.
Oh, the steel guitar. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, did he? He really did become an islander too? He's just all right. Manson does everything.
Well, according to a secondhand account, Manson overcame Bruner's initial resistance to him bringing other women to live with them. Before long, they were sharing Bruner's residence with 18 other women.
He found the G spot. That's how he got his way with all these chicks.
Apparently, shit.
He knows where the clitoris is.
Soft motions. Don't stab it. There you go.
That's my move, though. I can't. You can't teach an old dog new tricks on that one.
God, that would hurt.
Just kidding.
This is too good. I'm staying over here with Odd Mother.
All right, back to the thing. To the notes.
That's funny. Okay. Manson targeted individuals for manipulation who were emotionally insecure or generally social outcasts, which is what, I mean, he was able to just like zoom in on that because he was.
Well, that's the sociopath side.
Yeah. So Manson established himself as a guru in San Francisco's Haight-Ashbury district, which during the Summer of Love was emerging as the signature hippie locale.
The summer of chlamydia, actually.
The summer of gotta herpes. Manson may have borrowed some of his philosophy from the Process Church of the Final Judgment.
What the fuck?
The Process Church of...
That's a swastika almost. When you brought
was that the one that was ran by a guru named Krishna? Like a different Krishna, not the Hare Krishna.
This was actually founded by an English couple in the 70s. Her name was Mary Ann McLean, and his name was Robert de Grimston. And I don't know much about that. So if you guys ever want to look it up, here we go. It's literally a tiny thing on it. Oh, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But basically, it was neo-Gnostic religion, like theology. So basically, it's a variety of contemporary religions. So you guys like pressed into one, but also stemming from ancient Roman society.
So you guys like proto-punk, right? And proto-rock and metal.
This is like a weird genre.
Here's proto-neo-Nazis for you.
That's what I was just sitting here thinking. That's how that symbol got on his head. He completely misunderstood what that guru's teaching was.
Exactly.
Right? You're all...
Did you say neo-Nazi? Okay, I'm on board.
Yeah, let's do it. Just starts doing Dance Dance Revolution in front of the guru.
Somebody hand me some flashlight.
Woohoo! Are you dancing while looking at your feet?
Oh, are you goth dancing? Yes.
Goth dancing.
That's the only way. Charlie Manson never goth danced. I'll tell you that right now. He was way.
He more than air controlled. He like more than air controlled traffic.
He knew how to clear a dance floor.
Because he knocked everyone else out.
Because he leapfrogged from like 20 feet away onto them. Have you seen that video of him doing that?
No.
He actually,
He does it up in chairs too.
Oh,
yeah.
I've seen that.
And on tables and stuff. Yeah.
I've seen that.
He is unbelievably like nimble.
He was shorter than me and skinny.
But even for that size,
He should have been a jockey.
honestly, Charlie Manson's my favorite. Well, he's my silver medal. Kemper's always gonna be my gold medal.
but you know the thing about it is though, you wonder where did he have all that energy, because I know they were doing a lot of LSD and acid and all that kind of stuff, but they were probably smoking a lot of weed.
Sometimes.
How can you move like that when you're doing that? Like, I'm too busy making like pickle and peanut butter sandwiches.
I get really goofy. Like more so than normal, and everything makes me laugh. Everything.
Here's a better explanation, by the way, of
He was on
the
crack.
Process Church of the Final Judgment.
The process church of the final judgment. You have to believe. You have to believe.
What is your favorite car?
Oh, so I see you are here for the church as a final process, huh? Mm-hmm. Where's the papers? Show me the papers right now. Yeah, we're getting taken down.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Well, its members believed Satan would become reconciled to Jesus, and they would come together at the end of the world to judge humanity. Manson soon had the first of his groups of followers, most of them female. They were later dubbed the Manson family by Vincent Bugliosi and the media.
What was his name?
Vincent Bugliosi.
Hey. Oh, you don't like it, the Bugliosi? I'm sorry.
I jump out. I had to go boogly boogly boogly.
Hey, you know what? At least I can pronounce the Italian words. Most of the time.
Because I'm telling you what, Odd Mother would completely wreck that word.
Hey, just don't give me Russian words and we're good.
It's true.
I can't do it.
Don't worry, we're gonna redo the Rostov Ripper soon.
God. Oh my goodness.
Well, actually, no. I think we're gonna do that one where you can't sit with us, because that's gonna be.
That's the one we had to have Finn's help, wasn't it?
Huh? Oh yes, Sven had to help.
Pronouncing words. We were like, I don't even know what this
Can you translate?
And can you imagine with all three of us trying to read Russian words? This is gonna be great.
No, the one that I actually had to have Sven translate was it might have actually been the original Joachim Kroll, because I had more stuff that was in German.
He just basically, all that means sperm.
There
right
was
there.
one, and your notes were like, it got to a point where, I mean, you're really good about pronunciations and stuff. And even you were having a hard time. I forget which one it was, but yeah, I think that's the one that Ben had to help us out with. What?
That's just us right there. All of us are the same. All three of us are really good at pronounce. Okay, we all fucked it up.
Say your words. Words are hard.
Vice.
Free anal bleaching. Giving away free anal bleaching.
Well, someone's ready to come to California. Just guys, look, I bleached my anus. Vice.
You want to see?
If you see Uncle Tyler with a shaved head with Mr. Giggles on his head, it wasn't there. I wasn't there.
Right.
Ping pong.
Okay. This is gonna be 4 hours if we don't get on notes.
It is. That's why I'm getting y'all killing me, Smalls. Hellblazer! Hello! Hello. Assume the position!
No.
It's funny because I just did brunch. And then now you're in here. Yay. Like,
Could you describe what we're doing? Because this is the audio side too. I'm just kidding.
brunch. That's what I'm doing. Brunch.
Hey, Vi.
All right. I'm going to star that one and
With a
unstar all the
star?
weird randomness.
Star.
That brunch. Okay. We are back. Kind of. So, yeah. The Process Church of the Final Judgment believed that Satan would become reconciled to Jesus and they would come together in the end of the world to judge humanity.
Jesus and us have come
Pineapple.
up with a solution for the
Pineapples.
problems.
Bring forth the pineapple.
We have a final.
No, not the small pineapple.
We have a final solution. It involves pineapples.
Assume the position.
I'm so good with a German accent. I'm sorry.
It's
but
scary.
that's it's really coming out when I do it.
I'm pretty sure Sven would disagree, but
Sven's up. We all don't sound like that. Not one bit.
Oh my God.
10 million, 100 million pound pineapple? Yes.
That's
what
some
he grew
serious
up as.
chlamydia.
So Manson allegedly taught his followers that they were the reincarnation of the original Christians and that the establishment could be characterized as the Romans.
Everyone's talking about the Romans right now. Every fucker is talking about the Romans. It's all over TikTok. It's all over Instagram. Now it's in Charlie Manson's freaking notes.
I'm sure this had nothing to do with the fact they were constantly dropping acid and
Oh, totally.
Not
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not smoking mescaline or anything like that.
Well,
I am the Lizard King. I can do anything.
ayahuasca.
Oh,
So-
okay, sorry. we got to get on with this. I'm about to scroll it even more.
Sometime around 1967, he began using the alias Charles Willis Manson.
Willis.
They called him Willie for short.
That was his alias?
I think it was.
Chlamydia Willie.
It's a short Willie.
Someone needs to pull him aside and just be like, bro, an alias is a
Don't call
completely
yourself
different name, not just a different middle name. You're still the same person.
They're like, dude, seriously?
Well, hey, look, Superman could put on glasses and nobody knew who he was.
He just put a Willis in there and poof, it's not even him.
Here
I
comes
know,
my
it's not even
inner
him.
nerd.
It's somebody completely different.
Let's not even no.
And
No,
here's
no,
my
no,
inner
no, no,
nerd
no, 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 no,
to explain
no,
Superman and his glasses.
We have a whole other show for that.
Look, Superman, Metallica, and Godzilla, don't bring them up to me.
Ah! Okay. So before the end of the summer, Manson and some of the women began traveling in an old school bus that they adapted,
Wait a
putting
second.
colored rugs and pillows in the place of many seats that they had removed.
It was
They eventually settled in the Los Angeles area
Oh.
of like Topanga Canyon and Malibu and even Venice. So in 1967, Bruner became pregnant by Manson.
huh.
Chlamydia mobile.
Yep.
Like the book mobile, but different.
You don't want this mobile.
You
just
don't want this mobile.
Is this where Guar got
Mobile STDs on wheels.
is this where Guar got like Slaughterama from?
Let the battle cry go forth, which is give the people what they want. And what the people want could only be the senseless slaughter.
Hey, you should lay off the LSD, you know.
Wait. So, how do you hide money from a hippie? Put it under the soap.
Oh,
Oh,
What was it? How's little tofu? What? She grew another head. Gotta lay off that LSD, you know. Kind of makes your offspring goofy looking. Okay, that's like one of my favorite Guar songs.
it's a good song.
It's so good. Sleazy P Martini's the best. Okay. Let's go back
Jesus Christ. Don't yell into the mic.
Sometimes you need to, okay?
So we're moving away from the chlamydia mobile.
The clitoris mobile.
Clitoris.
That's the driver's seat.
Ew. So wet. It's sticky.
So on April 15th, 1968, she gave birth to their son, whom she named Valentine Michael. And a
That's
condemned
almost
house,
a normal name. That is
Oh, yeah.
almost a normal name for that family.
right? Well, and she gave birth in a condemned house where they were living in Topanga Canyon. She was assisted by several of the young women from the family. Bruner, like most of the members of the group, acquired a number of aliases and nicknames, including
Ouch.
Marioche,
Oh,
Ock,
no, I'm going to say
Mother
ouch.
Mary, Mary Manson, Linda D. Manson, Christine Marie Eucht. Euchts.
You know, like the Utes.
The two utes.
The
The
Utes.
two Utes.
A what?
The what?
What is a ute?
What exactly is a grit?
We'll have 2 breakfasts. That's the best part of that movie. You know, there's a cholesterol epidemic in this country. But Tyler says hi. He's got Mortal Kombat and trying to free up. I want to play Mortal Kombat.
Me too.
I've heard that last part a few times too. High five. Don't leave me hanging. Just kidding. Okay, all right, we gotta do this. We're only paragraph in.
Okay, so in his book, Love Needs Care, about his time at HAFMC, which was the place that the home that he was at. No, this one was the prison, wasn't it? David Smith claimed that Manson attempted to reprogram his followers' minds to submit totally to his will through the use of LSD and unconventional sexual practices that would turn his followers into empty vessels and would accept anything he poured. Manson family member Paul Watkins testified that Manson would encourage group LSD trips and take lower doses himself to keep his wits about him. Watkins said that Charlie's trip was to program us all to submit. By the end of his stay at in the Height in April of 68, Manson had attracted 20 or so followers, all under the supervision of his parole officer, Roger Smith, and many of the staff.
Who was also a cult member. No, I don't know that.
He might as well have been. He let it happen.
Now I remember HAFMC was the group that was doing the LSD tests.
Did they throw up gang signs when they did it too?
They probably did. Be like, what?
This is a fun one. This is a really fun one. I love Charlie Manson.
So, the core members of Manson's following eventually included Tex Charles Watson, a musician and former actor, Bobby Beausoleil, which is a former musician and porn actor, Bruner,
yes.
Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Leslie Van Houten.
Didn't Bobby already get out of prison, or did she die in prison?
What? Lulu got out, and then
was it only 2 that's gotten out? I thought there was a couple Manson chicks that got out.
I think most of them are out now. I think they're all out.
Yeah, they're either out or dead.
Lulu got out. Squeaky is out.
I wonder if she went back to her porn career when she got out. What's her face? That Bobby chick. Sorry.
I doubt it.
Bobby's a dude.
Oh. I wonder if he went back to his porn career.
Bobby Beausoleil is a dude.
Bobby can be a chick. Oh, that is a porno star right there. Look at that.
So he was actually convicted and sentenced to death for the July 27th, 1969 fatal stabbing of Gary Hinman.
Wow.
subsequent
Because
arrest.
Sharon Tate, I mean, she gets most of the press, but there was 2 nights of
There- yeah.
killing. There was another couple,
There
like
was
an
a
older
practice.
couple or something, wasn't it? The night
Yeah.
before or the night after?
There was, and then I want to say about 6 months after, there was also another killing. I could be wrong. I was it was an episode on last podcast.
She's talking about literally the day before they did it.
No, there was.
Yeah, it was a
That's what I
2-day
was
murder
agreeing
spree,
with
but I know what you're saying. You're saying afterwards because they didn't find out who did it right away.
that. Yeah, there was, but there was another one.
Prior.
There was another. Yeah, there was the one prior. Then there was another one roughly about 6 months, almost a year later, because the Manson cult was still active while he was in prison and going through the hearings.
Mhm.
There's still a whole bunch of them out there. They it was an episode of Last Podcast on Left. They delved into it. It was pretty rad. I don't remember what it was though, but yeah.
So here we go. Supervised by his parole officer, Roger Smith, Manson grew his family through drug use and prostitution. His parole officer was really good at his job, huh?
Oh yeah.
He didn't want scabies or chlamydia. He was like, "You guys do
Chlamydia.
you."
You just call in. Just call me, Charlie.
So
Or is it Willie now?
That's Willis time.
So I'm going to actually repeat that whole sentence because I actually missed a few words that are very important. Supervised by his parole officer, Roger Smith, Manson grew his family through drug use and prostitution without interference from authorities.
Jesus Christ, man. I'll tell you right now that Seth MacFarlane really got Roger Smith spot on with the probation officer. He just didn't care.
It's Willis Manson.
Hey, Willie.
Hi,
Hello. How are you?
Cheyenne. Hello. Hello, hello. How are you? We have people in Pakistan. Hello.
Aha.
So, let me get back to this. Manson was arrested on July 31st, 1967 for attempting to prevent the arrest of one of his followers, Ruth Ann Morehouse. Instead of Manson being sent back to prison, the charge was reduced to a misdemeanor and Manson was given 3 additional years of probation. He avoided prosecution again in July of 68 when he and his family were arrested while moving from San Francisco to Los Angeles with permission of Roger Smith. When his bus crashed into a ditch where Manson and members of his family, including Brunner and Manson's newborn baby boy, were found sleeping naked by the police. So they crashed into a ditch and just fell asleep.
I guess it's a good place
This
to end,
looks
right?
like a good spot to take a nap.
You guys okay? Cool.
Bleeding profusely everywhere. Kids cool? All right. Who wants to do some LSD and get chlamydia again?
Chlamydia ditch.
That game.
I don't want to play that again.
So afterwards, he was again arrested and released for only a few days later, but this time it was on a drug charge.
Could you imagine if they actually held him accountable? Like if they actually denied, like, you know, gave him a parole violation and pulled him back in, none of this stuff would have happened because he would have been in there for that year or two.
I still think.
Well, it's always this way. But I mean, I get the whole thing about how the police departments weren't really in contact with each other from county to county and state to state. But
Yeah.
you see this a lot in issues like this. Whether, I mean, I know that he was more of a cult leader and it was some of his family members that did the killing, but still, you see a lot of dropping the ball. Like if somebody would have just done so and so.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, especially Roger Smith here. All he had to do was just step in. That's it.
He could have done it at any moment.
Because this was about a couple months before. And remind you guys, everything happened with Charles Manson roughly in a year, just a little over a year, maybe a year and a couple months. And all he had to, all this guy had to do was step in. Just step in. Hey man, what are you guys doing over here? That's all he had to do. What's up?
Tyler says, I'm gonna put my nutsack on your microphone in 48 hours.
Let's bring the troll up real fast.
Yeah,
Hey, Saeed, you're on blast now. It's the troll game, guys.
without an audience. Just to let you know,
By the way,
there's a lot of other places.
Here's how the troll game works, guys. So if you think this is a certain person, possibly an ex-member, you guys contact us. And if you're thinking what we're thinking, if you don't mind going live with it, we'll out this guy right here.
But if you don't want to go live with it, if you don't, that's fine too.
And there may be merch involved.
Yep.
Exactly.
There will, whatever this guy makes up on the spot will become merch because we will make money off this troll. Absolutely.
I think give me a shout out is enough to put on a shirt at this point.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Please give me a shout out.
Oh, by the way, the bunny cunt shirt's coming too. Thanks, Dom.
Yep.
Just let us know. Thank you, Dom.
Bunny cunt shirt.
You fucking asshole. That's how you talk shit on a live show right there.
Can I just say somebody for some free shit? Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Tyler, absolutely. I forgot Tyler just came in.
Take some LSD, you'll be fine.
Good case of chlamydia will clear that right up.
Right up. No problems. We talked about
I think somebody needed an asshole bleaching is what I think.
Hold on. Remember, guys, free anal bleaching! Giving away free anal bleaching.
Can you bring up the video game thing?
Bend over.
Rover.
Oh, I was gonna say if Tyler's having problems. I'm sorry. I just saw Vice's things and it made me laugh while we were reading notes. And it was like, if Tyler's having problems downloading to his Xbox, he should stop being a peasant and download to his PC. I'm just kidding, Tyler.
And contact Vice for the free anal bleaching.
Yes.
Crack! Yeah, we're totally cops.
Yes.
Totally.
Wait, it's short sentences. I know who this is, and I
See,
just
nobody can see my shoes. Isn't that how you always supposed to tell by the shoes?
Do I need to throw a glass bottle right now?
Yeah, right. We do need to get back on track, though. We're going to be here for another 10 hours.
Gaming's for pussies, whatever.
I'm just kidding.
There we go. We are the wee woos, you nipple collector. The wee woos. It still reminds me of Family Guy. European sirens.
Yes. I kind of put the joke together in my head.
So you know what? Honestly, we talked about the Beach Boys and his connection to Dennis Wilson, and basically how they took one of Charlie Manson's songs and they changed it around. So it used to be called Cease to Exist, and then they called it Never Learn Not to Love. And it was a B-side single, and they never gave him any credit. Yes. Yes, we're the poke. I'm not even reading the whole thing. You guys can read it if you're in here. And if you're not, well, that sucks. So, Spawn Ranch. Manson established a base for the family at Spawn Ranch in August of '68 after Wilson's landlord evicted them. So I guess something I should have mentioned was that they were living on land that was owned by Dennis Wilson and Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. So Manson established a base for the family at Spawn Ranch in August of '68 after Wilson's landlord evicted them. It had been a television and a movie set for Westerns, but the buildings had deteriorated by the late 60s. The ranch then derived revenue primarily from selling horseback rides. Excuse me. I totally burped in the microphone, but that's cool. Female family members did chores around the ranch and occasionally had sex on Manson's orders with the nearly blind 80-year-old owner, George Spahn.
Which was a badass scene. And
I
That was
guess
a-
that's
yeah.
a way not to pay rent.
yes. That whole scene with Brad Pitt going up to him or going up to the door, wanting to talk to him. You think he's dead. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, it was legit. He needed to take a nap before he watched his movies at night or shows at night. I'm sorry.
Somebody's in timeout now.
We're not going to block you just yet. We're just going to play with you because we know how to
I just
do
put
this.
you in timeout. Bad boy. Bad boy.
Shame.
Shame, shame, shame.
I'm going to go report your profile. We don't give a fuck.
Lawnmower Man.
Try new anal bleacher 3000. Your butthole will be so bright when you bend over.
You'll have to wear shade.
Sunglasses.
Sunglasses.
I'm too stoned right now.
Tyler heard that Vigo's taking us to a nude beach. He's okay with that?
I'm fine with it. Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
I've got no problem. I'll show it all off.
Seriously, 10 minutes after at a place like that, it's like no big deal at that point, for real.
There's sure a lot of dicks here.
Let's see what happens when they get in the water.
We
can compare proton packs at the beach.
Lawnmower Man is a customer of mine. He's one of my best ones, so he knows what he's talking about. God damn it. Okay. So, by the way, in exchange for the girls banging George Spahn and also acting as like a seeing eye dog basically for him, he allowed the family to live there for free. So, doomsday beliefs.
Oh, you got to censor some stuff here. This is going to get pretty bad. Everything's helter skelter. I'll tell you that right now.
But before we get into doomsday beliefs, before we get into doomsday,
you scrolled off too much.
Booty hole so bright it will blind you. Who needs a flashlight when we have
a flashlight? I gotta say,
who needs a flashlight when we have Lawnmower Man starfish to light the goddamn way? That's Vice's advertising.
Was that the spotlight? Nope. That's Lawnmower Man from Virginia. I'm sorry.
Indiana?
Indiana. I'm sorry, Calvin. I'm just messing with you.
I don't know.
Calvin's our oldest fan. I'm not going to fuck with him too much.
So the Manson family developed into a doomsday cult when Manson became fixated on the idea of an imminent apocalyptic race war.
I told you, you're going to really tread lightly. You remember that chick who smeared her face a lot? Remember how he walked on eggshells with her? We got to do that here.
Well, let's put it. Okay, so he was really obsessed with the Beatles, the White Album.
Yes.
And because there were a lot of like, if you played it backwards, there was a lot of really cool stuff on that album. But he did believe that the song Helter Skelter contains subliminal messages about the coming race war.
Yes.
Well, it was off of the White Album, so of course he took that to heart, apparently. And he decided, there was going to be a race war, and that helter skelter, the term, was what meant his weird idea of a race war. We lost her. Oh. She's back.
Wait, almost.
Indiana.
Well, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
Calvin. But so bright it can replace the Batman signal. Batman just hired Calvin to fire off the bat signal from his doo-doo cannon. I figured since we lost connection for a second, we might as well.
I was just
All right. So we're gonna play something for you first, and then we will start talking about this next subject.
with Tate and Gilder.
I was not saying it yet.
Sorry.
Give me just a second.
Friday night in Los Angeles, a movie actress and 4 of her friends were murdered. The circumstances were lurid. The movie actress was Sharon Tate, 26. The others were a male hairdresser, the heiress to a coffee fortune, a writer, and a boy just out of high school. And a short time later, not far away, a middle-aged couple was found murdered in similar circumstances.
The latest murders were discovered during the night. The bodies of a man and his wife found in their home. Lino LaBianca, a supermarket owner, and his wife had both been stabbed to death, repeated stab wounds. On his body, the word war had been carved in the chest. Then, with blood, the killer had scrawled on the refrigerator door the words, "Death to pigs."
I'm just glad I didn't have to read that.
And that was from NBC, reported at 11:20 p.m., August 11th, 1969.
All right. So
Was that?
go ahead.
So
That was for real.
Manson did
That
have
was
a
real.
summer of '69.
Yes.
I got his first sex dream. I don't remember the lyrics right now.
Summer of Chlamydia.
Yep. Well, I am going to talk about Bernard.
Can you get
Locke-
mouth chlamydia?
You can get it anywhere you like.
Ooh. Oh.
No cure for that.
There is no cure.
So here we go. On March 23rd, 1969, Manson entered the grounds of 10050 Cielo Drive, which he had known as Meckler's residence. He was not invited. As he approached the main house, Manson was met by Sharak Hatami, an Iranian photographer who had befriended the film director Roman Polanski, and his wife Sharon Tate during the making of the documentary Mia and Roman. He was there to photograph Tate before she departed for Rome the following day. Seeing Manson approach, Hatami had gone into the front porch to ask him what he wanted. Manson said that he was looking for Meckler, whose name Hatami did not recognize. Hatami told him the place was the Polanski residence and then advised him to try the path to the guest house beyond the main house. Tate appeared behind Hatami in the house's front door and asked him who was calling. Hatami and Tate maintained their positions while Manson went back to the guest house without a word, returning to the front a minute or two later and left. That evening, Manson returned to the property and again went to the guest house. He entered the enclosed porch and spoke to Altobelli, the owner.
Excuse me?
Altobelli,
Oh, okay.
the owner, who had just come out of the shower. Manson asked for Meckler, or Melcher. I keep saying that wrong. But Altobelli felt that Manson was actually looking for him. It was later discovered that Manson had apparently been to the property on earlier occasions after Melcher left. Altobelli told Manson through the screen door that Melcher had moved to Malibu and said that he did not know his new address, even though he really did.
It had been a move that happened like 2 weeks earlier or something. I mean, there wasn't a long period of time between
No,
the
it
time that
wasn't.
the Tates moved in. And I want to say, was it Lauren Bacall and Melcher
I
that
can't.
had moved out?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll have to look it up.
I
If I can see her face, but I can't remember what her name was.
Yeah, I'm like sitting here going, I don't know. So Altobelli told Manson he was leaving the country for the next day, And Manson said he would like to speak with him upon his return. So Altobelli said that he would be gone for more than a year. Manson said that he had been directed to the guest house by the person in the main house. And then he was asked not to disturb his tenants. So Altobelli and Tate flew together to Rome the next day. Tate asked him whether that creepy looking guy had gone to see him at the guest house the day before.
I've got it. It was Harry Melcher and actress Candace Bergen.
Okay.
They lived in the house from 1966 to January of 1969.
Yeah.
Do you want to get to comments now that we actually have a good break?
Yeah.
Because Vice demands it.
God damn it. Catch up on the comments. I'm trying.
We're trying. We also have a ton of stuff to read.
Calvin's starfish will light up the 4th of July.
Is Calvin laughing down there?
Yes. Need a tan? Just hire Calvin to spread eagle 2 feet above you. Oh, God. Hi. What's up?
So, Maggie.
So, part of LSD in circulation was the MK Ultra program. Manson may have been allowed to get away with his antics for so long because they wanted to see his results of its use.
That is a good.
And now we know why there was no interference.
And he sure knew how to use it to his advantage.
There is a good correlation right there.
That really is.
I hope everything's okay.
Yeah.
Release the crack.
Release the
Healing
crack.
vibes. Just the order that these come in sometimes.
Oh yeah, that like Keith was saying healing vibes is what we're talking about for a second right now. I was like healing vibes for Manson. What the fuck?
No. So let's talk about the Crow shooting. So Tex Watson became involved in drug dealing and robbed a 22-year-old drug dealer named Bernard Lots-a-Papa Crow. Can't make this shit up sometimes.
Lots of papa.
Lots-a-Papa. Crow allegedly responded with a threat to kill everyone at Spawn Ranch. In response, Manson shot Crow on July 1st, 1969, at Manson's Hollywood apartment. Manson's belief that he had killed Crow was seemingly confirmed by news reports of the discovery of the dumped body. And for the record, Bernard Lots-a-Papa Crow was a Black Panther.
But it wasn't. I don't think
he thought he was.
Yeah,
sorry. He thought he was a Black Panther.
You know, I think that they were trying to, what is the word? Like where you make something happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would almost bet you if Manson had been preaching this malarkey that he was preaching, that they probably looked for a way to stir that shit up.
Exactly.
Oh,
especially
definitely.
going to someone who they thought was a Black Panther, killing them.
Exactly.
And then they were hoping for a race war right there. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, to be fair, he was not actually a Black Panther. And he had, when Manson thought that he might have been, he actually expected retaliation from them. He turned Spawn Ranch into a defensive camp, establishing night patrols with armed guards.
I was just going to say, I bet he shit himself and got so scared and made sure that his family was there to protect him.
Could you imagine their night patrol? They were just passed out on LSD or just tripping balls in the fucking desert at night. That's, I think, one of the counts. When we get into it here with the Tate murders, I want to say Tex was on acid the entire, like the weeks before and everything after. Like he was just,
I'm sure,
out of his mind on acid.
Well,
sure.
Watson, so Tex, would say that they were trying to get the chosen ones. And Manson brought in members of the Straight Satan's Motorcycle Club to act as security.
As opposed to the gay Satans.
I guess.
And then Manson said, if you see something, give me the sign.
This is the sign. This is the sign.
This is the sign.
I made Ivar laugh.
Is that doesn't look right? You're supposed to do this, not this.
They're just whacked out of our minds on acid, watching everything, just staring at
I
it.
didn't see this.
Whoa.
You're supposed to do this in there. He must not be in trouble.
Did Vice and Tyler finally get
The DDR sign. They're just tired. No,
Oh.
no, they're playing Mortal
That's what I'm
Kombat.
saying. Did they finally get Mortal Kombat like downloaded? Is that why they're not in here anymore?
They're here. They're just,
I'm
you
kidding.
know.
I'm kidding. I want to play Mortal Kombat so bad right now. It looks so good.
So, the Hinman murder. 34-year-old Gary Allen Hinman was a music teacher and graduate student at UCLA. At some point in the late 60s, he befriended members of the Manson family, allowing some to occasionally stay at his home.
Listen to him, bitch.
Listen, biatch, we here. Still here, nudist Vigo. Fatality.
Fatality. This one probably
Shit. So he befriended some of the Manson members and he would occasionally allow them to stay at his home. According to family member Susan Atkins, Manson believed Hinman was wealthy. He sent family members Bobby Beausoleil, Mary Brunner, and Atkins to Hinman's home on July 25th in 1969 to convince him to join the family and turn over his assets to Manson. And Manson seemed to think that he had inherited a bunch of money. The three held Hinman hostage for 2 days as he denied having any money. During this time, Manson arrived with a sword and slashed his face and ear.
He's like, I live in a shack, man. And he comes in with a katana sword.
He's like,
Ha! I just spit all over my mic.
good thing there's the, pop filter.
Spit guard.
The spit guard.
Vice, this is your mic now.
Nudality. Same here. Crackality. Tyler actually has his parents convinced that I am an actual fucking nudist.
That's what I was laughing at. The katana, and then I saw that. I was like, man, this guy's good.
So, Manson, like I said, he slashed Hinman's face and ear with a sword. After that, Beausoleil stabbed him to death, allegedly on Manson's instruction. Before leaving the Topanga Canyon residence, Beausoleil, or one of the women, used Hinman's blood to write "Political Piggy" on the wall and drew a panther paw to try to blame it on the Black Panthers.
It was a cute kitten paw.
Meow.
So fucking bad, man.
Hello, kitty.
You know what?
Hello, kitty.
According to Manson and Beausoleil, Beausoleil said he went to Hinman's to recover money paid to Hinman for mescaline provided to the street Satans that had supposedly been bad. Beausoleil added that Brunner and Atkins, unaware of his intent, went along to visit Hinman. Atkins, in her 77 autobiography, wrote that Manson directed Beausoleil, Brunner, and her to go to Hinman's and get the supposed inheritance of $21,000. She said that 2 days earlier, Manson had told her privately that if she wanted to do something important, she could kill Hinman to get his money. Beausoleil was arrested on August 6th of 1969 after he was caught driving Hinman's car. And police found the murder weapon in the tire well.
Summer of 69, man.
Apparently.
There's a lot of shit going on in 69.
Back in the summer of 69. Wow.
Yeah. It's fucking scary, actually. There's a lot of chlamydia in 69.
So now we're to the big
Enough
one.
for every American alive at the time. That's how much chlamydia there was.
Now we're at the Tate
It was a
murders.
pandemic.
1969.
That just reminds me of Ministry.
No, but it's just going 1969. 1969.
Please don't. We gotta get on with this. I've already made up too much. I've already just taken us off track so many times.
Yeah.
And no one's doubting it. They're like, yeah, you did. We want to go to bed. And you just keep talking.
So, Psalm 69.
Yeah, I was going there. But I love the lyrics of that song. It's so good.
So, on the night of August 8th, 1969, Tex Watson took Susan Atkins, Linda Kasabian, and Patricia Krenwinkel.
Never trust a Patricia.
Right?
Or a Krenwinkel.
Or a Krenwinkel.
Or Guinevere.
To
Gwendolyn, too.
1005.
Don't ever trust a Gwendolyn.
He took all these people to 10050 Cielo Drive in Benedict Canyon, Los Angeles, California. Watson later claimed that Manson had instructed him to go to the house and totally destroy everyone in it and do it as gruesome as you can.
Ugh.
Manson told the women to do as Watson instructed them. The occupants of the house were 26-year-old actress Sharon Tate, who was 8.5 months pregnant.
This is fucking terrible. She was
the wife of Roman Polanski.
She was a beautiful actress.
And she was what didn't they say, like she was actually like super nice and just a good person all around,
Oh
too? Yeah, it's fucking terrible, man.
I'm just gonna do that real fast. So also her friend and former lover, Jay Sebring, who was 35, and he was a celebrity hairstylist, if you don't know. And Polanski's friend, who was 32 years old, and this is a very, very hard name to pronounce.
Sound it out, because I can't.
Well, it's a 60, so I'm gonna go with Wasu Fruzel.
We're just gonna go with Frykowski because that was his last name.
That worked. Or that.
Hey, Everett!
Everett, what's up? How are you?
That wasn't me. That was Patricia. I'm sorry to hear that. That's not fun. They're over at the ER.
Oh, yeah.
So, and Frykowski's 25-year-old girlfriend, Abigail Ann Folger, who, yes, is the daughter of, or was the daughter of Pete Folger.
Yeah.
The coffee people. Also present on the property were 19-year-old William Garrettson, the caretaker, and his friend, 18-year-old Stephen Earl Parent. Polanski was in Europe working on a film. Music producer Quincy Jones was a friend of Sebring who had planned to join him that evening but did not. Watson and 3 women arrived at the house past midnight on August 9th, 1969. Watson climbed a telephone pole near the entrance gate and cut the phone line to the house. The group backed their car into the bottom of the hill that led to the estate and walked up to the house. They thought that the gate might be electrified or equipped with an alarm, so they climbed a bushy embankment to the right of the gate and entered the grounds. Headlights approached them from within the property, and the women were ordered to lie in the bushes. And Watson actually stepped out and ordered the approaching driver to halt. And I just lost where my notes were because I just clicked on something. Sorry, guys. So there we go. Stephen Parent had been visiting the property's caretaker, William Garrettson, who lived in the guest house. Watson levied a .22 caliber revolver at Parent, who begged him not to hurt him, claiming that he would not say anything. Watson lunged at Parent with a knife, giving him a defensive slash wound on the palm of his hand that severed tendons and tore his watch off his wrist.
Ouch.
And then he shot him 4 times in the chest and the abdomen, killing him in the front seat of his ambassador.
It's so crazy that they're like, oh yeah, make this as gruesome as possible. But even like the lack of humanity is like, dude, you guys are already there. Just put them out of their misery, and then you can go to town on this shit. But no, it's like they were fucking brutal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, and I know people were probably a lot more naive back then, but when somebody you're within a locked piece of property, like you know who's supposed to be there and who's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And I imagine when Tex jumped out and ordered that car to halt, he was probably holding a weapon of some sort. I never understand, unless it's just pure shock, why more people don't get plowed down by a car, because that would be my first
Yeah,
thought.
just
Is
freaking
this
done it.
person does not need to be here. He's pointing a weapon at me. I am going to hit the floorboard and push the gas.
Yep.
You know, there is something with like the big city and people just not reacting the way they should. Because if it's a smaller town or whatnot,
Hmm.
most people would be like, "This guy's got a gun. Okay, I'm just gonna say screw this because he could be coming after me, and I'm gonna take him out."
Yeah, because I've got a bigger weapon right here that I'm sitting behind.
But when it comes to like Los Angeles and New York, I mean, look at New York in the 70s. Wasn't there a case of a woman being brutally raped? Like, and no one, it was happening right outside of a housing building. Like, no one, people, it was clear that
I
people
think that
heard
happened
it.
in the subway lately too, recently on a
Yes,
subway train or something, and
people
the thing was
see,
filled with people.
people,
Speed bump.
people see it and they just
Exactly, speed
do
bump.
nothing about it. Nothing about it. And then you go to like small towns, smaller cities and stuff like that. People will stand up and not let stuff happen. And it's so weird. It is absolutely weird. It's just like the mentality in bigger cities is like, it's not my problem. I'm just going to go about and do my business.
That was one of the things I got really shocked about when I moved to Tennessee.
Mhm.
Was, I mean, I've told Hexus this a lot. One of the times I was just in a parking lot just fixing a headlight,
Mhm.
and I had multiple people come up and ask me if I needed help.
Oh
And to
yeah,
be honest, being from California, it freaked me out because people don't come up and ask to
unless they
help
have
you
like
unless they
nefarious
have
reasons.
yeah, they usually
Yeah,
have ulterior motives.
It's just
right.
insane. You know, I'm not saying for people to be Karens and go out of their way and get in people's business, but you know what? When you see something happening, at least say something or call a cop
When
or
you
something.
see something obvious happen,
Yes, obvious. There you go. That's perfect right there. It's like when you see that, do something. Hello.
Hi,
Hey,
Stardust.
Stardust. But
Yeah, I
most
mean, people
people
don't.
in big cities, they just don't. It's just literally like, oh, it's not my problem. I'm just gonna keep walking.
Well, in
yeah, it's
California,
odd.
if you're like broken down on the side of the freeway, they're just gonna flip you off and drive by, like
Or laugh at you. That's the big thing.
point and
Point and
laugh.
laugh and
Well,
record you.
they'll do things like that to you in like in a hurry. Sorry, gotta go to work.
New York City is a mind your own business place. Upstate, they'll help you out.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
I've heard that too.
That's what I was saying, Nadine. Is like the big cities and stuff like that are one thing, but when you go into the smaller cities or smaller towns or like the more rural areas, but everyone's nice.
Yeah.
Everyone is nice.
So after Tex killed Stephen Parent, he ordered the women that were with him to push the car up the driveway.
What
Wow.
the fuck?
Yep.
They
Not down.
Pushed it
Up.
How do they
Up.
do that?
Because there were 3 of them.
Even with 3 of them, that I've seen that driveway. Those were skinny hippies.
Yeah. Well, so
even 3
The
gigantic
power of
men,
LSD and chlamydia can make you do all kinds of things.
and probably PCP is what they were on too.
right. Well, so
That's very honestly, I wouldn't doubt if it wasn't PCP or something like that they were on.
oh yeah.
I'm betting PCP was there. It had to be because it was around back then, and it was right there with LSD, right there with pot. You know, everything.
Yeah.
It was one of the designer drugs that people did back then.
And it tends to make some people more violent.
Oh yeah. Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Watson Tex next cut the screen of a window, told Kasabian to keep watch down by the gate. She walked over to Parent's car and waited. Watson removed the screen, entered through the window, and let Atkins and Krenwinkel through the front door. He whispered to Atkins and awoke Frykowski, who was sleeping on the living room couch, and Tex went and kicked him in the head. Frykowski asked him who he was and what he was doing there, and Watson replied, "I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's business."
Wait, he kicked him in the head and woke him up, and that was his first response.
Yep.
Hey, what's up, man?
What do you? Huh?
Is it
See,
morning
mine would have
already?
been, what the?
Yeah. Who the fuck are you?
Mine would have been grabbing my gun by my bed.
Right? So on Tex's direction, Atkins found the house's 3 other occupants with Krenwinkel's help and forced them into the living room. Tex began to tie Tate and Sebring together by their necks with long nylon rope, which he had brought, and then slung it over one of the living room's ceiling beams. Sebring protested the murderers' rough treatment of
Hey, whoa, bud.
of Tate because she was pregnant. So Tex shot him.
Wow.
Folger was taken momentarily back to her bedroom for her purse, and she gave the murderer $70, and then she was stabbed 7 times. Or excuse me, then he stabbed Sebring 7 more times. In front of her.
Wow.
Frykowski's hands had been bound with a towel, but he freed himself and began struggling with Atkins, who stabbed at his legs with a knife. He fought his way out the front door and onto the porch, but Tex caught up with him, struck him over the head with the gun multiple times, stabbed him repeatedly, and shot him twice.
Oh, Calvin's going to bed.
Good night, Calvin.
Good night, Calvin.
Hi, Calvin.
Good night.
Oof. Okay. So Kasabian heard horrifying sounds and moved towards the house from her position in the driveway. She told Atkins that someone was coming in an attempt to stop the murders. Inside the house, Folger escaped from Krenwinkel and fled out a bedroom door to the pool area. Krenwinkel pursued her and caught her on the front lawn where she stabbed her and tackled her to the ground. Tex helped kill her, and her assailants stabbed her a total of 28 times.
Fuck.
Frykowski struggled across the lawn, but Tex continued to stab him and eventually killed him. And that's a personal way to attack somebody, especially if it's
really
like
is.
multiple stabbings, because usually you see that with someone that has some sort of relationship with that person. But I think in this case it was drug induced.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Well, serial killers that tend to kill with knives or strangulation have issue or have whatever
Probably
person.
anger issues.
Yeah.
You think?
Sorry. I'm sorry, Audible.
It's the crack.
I was about to say obviously something else, but it came out as well. Obviously,
Obviously, it's chlamydia issues.
I'm so sorry.
Well, so in total, Frykowski suffered 51 stab wounds. He had been struck in the head with the butt of Tex's a gun. I almost said that
Pistol
wrong.
whip. He'd been pistol whipped.
He was pistol whipped 13 times in the head.
Even one
And
pistol whipping can fracture skulls and all that stuff.
Yeah.
he pistol whipped him so hard that it bent the barrel and broke off one of the sides of the grip.
How? Well, I can see the grip, but Jesus.
The grip was actually recovered at the scene.
That is a huge hit. I mean, over and over again to bend a barrel of was it a revolver or was it a?
It was a 22.
Well, I mean, they have 22 revolvers.
I don't know. It didn't say what it was.
And could you imagine it being a semi-automatic? Everything they have to go through to bend that barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It was probably some sort of cheap off-brand that they picked up off the street. To be very honest.
Yeah, like one of those Luger replicas.
Like black market, you know.
Yeah, like a Luger replica that like Ruger.
Yeah.
Luger.
I'll trade you some chlamydia for this cheap ass gun.
So this is where it gets.
It's probably what happened, actually.
Pretty.
They probably legitimately had sex with the person who had the gun,
or stole it. I mean, if Manson was into pimping out a lot of his female members, I'm sure thievery was right in there too.
You think like she used chlamydia like a smoke bomb? Like she just rubbed it over her eyes and got away?
Yeah, kind of like like those Batman moves. You know, she's got a chlamydia belt.
It's all pow.
I've been hit with a chlamydia.
And we're talking about a brutal murder right now.
Oh, it's about to get even more brutal right now. I've just been waiting because this is really, really, really
what
brutal.
is it that last podcast on left says? This is definitely Gold Star area right now.
Okay.
We were already in it.
So in the house, Tate pled to be allowed to live long enough to give birth. She offered herself as a hostage in an attempt to save her unborn child. But both Atkins and Tex stabbed her 16 times. The coroner's inquest found that Tate was still alive when she was hung with the nylon rope, although her cause of death was determined to be a massive hemorrhage. While in Sebring's murder, it was actually found to be that he was hung lifeless because he was shot first.
Right.
According to Tex, Manson told the women to leave a sign, something witchy. Atkins just wrote pig on the front door in Tate's blood.
That's not witchy. That's death metal. You messed up.
Atkins claims she did this to copycat the murder scene of Gary Hinman in order to get Manson family member Bobby Beausoleil out of jail, who was in custody for the murder. Beausoleil wrote political piggy in Hinman's blood on the wall, if you didn't remember, even though I just said it earlier.
Mhm.
So, one
what,
of the other things that they're not mentioning here.
I'm sorry, I wasn't laughing at this. I just saw one of
Oh, yeah, no, I saw it.
Keith's chlamydia, pow, boom, bang. Anyway, go ahead.
One of the things that they're not mentioning is what they did with the baby.
yeah, we
Yeah.
don't need to really go into that.
I'm not going in
we,
depth.
we get it.
I'm not going in depth, but it is a big part of the story.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm not going to go in depth on it, but basically they did not treat the baby
Oh yeah,
very
it
well.
was the absolute crazy thing about all this. So they wanted to start a race war, right? They wanted to cause issues, and then they wanted to basically go bury themselves in a hole until everything blew over. It's like
Like a bunch of cowards.
exactly 100%. That's what they were.
Mhm.
But they also was like, you guys gave your MO from the start. You copied your own murder. You didn't. If you guys would have just did it and left, it's just, don't do drugs before you do stuff like this. That's all I'm saying.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going into detail. You guys probably have heard it already.
Actually, don't kill people. This is fucked up. Don't ever do that.
Well, of course. But yeah. So the 4 murderers plus Manson plus Leslie Van Houten plus Clem Grogan
Leslie,
went for a drive the following night.
did they put clown makeup on
They
Leslie?
probably did.
And they all ate ham.
Hello.
And it was all like bleh. But anyway.
Where's my Prozac?
Wouldn't that be crack?
I don't know.
Is there such thing as existential chlamydia?
I think
Right.
that's what Leslie Van
Yeah.
Houten has.
Existential chlamydia. Okay, new shirt. We need to smear makeup on Applewhite and just have existential chlamydia over him. You guys heard it here first. It's coming.
That's a great band name. Yes.
Existential chlamydia, right?
Yes. That's a new band name. All right. So Manson was allegedly displeased with the previous night's murders, so he told Kasabian to drive to a house at 3301 Waverly Drive in Los Feliz section of Los Angeles, located next door to a home where Manson and family members had attended a party the previous year. It belonged to 44-year-old supermarket executive Lino LaBianca and his 43-year-old wife, Rosemary LaBianca, who was a co-owner of a dress shop. According to Atkins and Kasabian, Manson disappeared up the driveway and returned to say that he had tied the house's occupants up. When
He's one of there
Tex-
did Dance Dance Revolution. That's
He's
all
all-
he did. They're like, there's a crazy man on our lawn. And then he ran back. I got him all tied up, everybody. Let's go get him.
Go Team Chlamydia.
Woo! Leslie's having an existential
Woo!
crisis. I can't go up there right now, Manson. You know I
Just
have to
don't
go.
understand.
You just don't understand. I can't go on until 9 o'clock.
I know I said I'd be up there. I know, but I just can't. God damn it.
We don't give a fuck. All right.
So again, Manson tied up the occupants of the house, and then Tex, Krenwinkel, and Van Houten went in. Tex claims in his autobiography that Manson went up alone, then returned to take him up to the house with him. Manson pointed out a sleeping man through a window, and the two encountered through the unlocked back door. Or excuse me, entered, not encountered. God, I can't speak anymore. Words are hard. Tex claims Manson roused the sleeping Lino LaBianca from the couch at gunpoint and had Watson bind his hands with a leather thong.
Okay.
Why was that on hand?
It was a groovy 70s or 60s, I'll tell you what.
Woo!
It was the summer of 69.
Leather thongs.
And chlamydia.
I still think it's that kind of thong. I disagree here. I think it is that kind of thong, Wolfman.
I think it probably had a, giant penis holster. That's the way I can say it, like the strippers have. Penis holster.
Is it like the flamingo thongs?
Yeah, what, does it have a flamingo on it?
No,
Do they?
that's the elephant nose one.
They have
There
both.
you go.
They have both. I've seen the flamingo in the shops, and it's frightening.
The flamingo.
Or the Pinocchio.
You gotta lie to him, or you gotta get him to lie. I'm sorry.
You gotta
Wait.
get it. Lie to me.
Lie to me! Lie to me!
It's so big. And he just starts. Whoop. Oh, you'll keep telling me the lie. Don't stop.
Type of hair thong?
Oh,
I think it had chlamydia on it. Yes.
I see what a Wolfman is saying. It's one of those scrunchies.
No, I think.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about.
I
It's
know
those
what you're
leather
talking about.
strips. There you
It's
go.
the one like, yeah.
Still a lot cooler if it was a flamingo leather stripper panties or some shit.
It would have.
So he bound his hands with a leather thong. Rosemary was brought into the living room from the bedroom. And okay, wait. Can we address that they were sleeping in different rooms?
Yeah, they were swingers. Okay, not making fun of the dead here, but they were definitely swingers.
No, it
Look,
sounded
that
more
was
like,
a 50s, 60s thing.
it sounded more like he was in the doghouse and sleeping on the couch that night.
Well,
That's
sometimes
how the
you,
thong got brought into it. Where did the thong come from?
That's why he was
You
in
could
the
just
doghouse.
sleep out here on the couch. You and
With
this
your
thong.
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 So, Rosemary was brought into the living room from the bedroom, and Tex covered the couple's heads with pillowcases, which he bound in place with lamp cords. Manson then left, and
Of course
Krenwinkel
he
and
did.
Van Houten entered the house. Tex had complained to Manson earlier of the inadequacy of the previous night's weapons. Tex sent the women from the kitchen to the bedroom where Rosemary LaBianca had been returned, while he went to the living room and began stabbing Lino with a chrome-plated bayonet.
Jesus.
Oh, crap. Those things are long.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the first thrust went into his throat. Tex heard a scuffle in the
Aw.
bedroom and went in there to discover that Rosemary was keeping the women at bay by swinging the lamp tied to her neck. He stabbed her several times with the bayonet, then returned to the living room and resumed
I'm
attacking.
trying to picture this in my mind. And all I'm thinking about is Elvira's pasty.
Kind of.
You know the messed up part about all
I'm
this?
not trying to be ugly. I'm just really trying to picture this in my mind.
Well, I think what's going on here is that we all like held our tongues for the Tate murders, and this part we're like, fuck it. We got to say some jokes here.
Hi, Cannibal.
Hi, Cannibal.
Classy. So Rosemary was keeping them at bay, swinging the lamp that was tied to her neck, and here comes Tex. Here comes Tex and stabs her 12 times with a bayonet. And then he
A different bayonet or the same one?
The same one. He then returned to the living room and resumed attacking Lino, whom he had stabbed 12 times, and then carved the word war into his abdomen. Tex returned to the bedroom and found Krenwinkel stabbing Rosemary with a knife from the kitchen. Van Houten stabbed her approximately 16 times in the back and the exposed butt. Van Houten claimed at trial that Rosemary was already dead during the stabbing. Yeah, because that totally matters, right?
I was going to say, that even matter? I mean, my God.
Yeah. Well, the evidence showed that many of the 41 stab wounds had in fact been inflicted post-mortem.
Wow.
So Tex cleaned off the bayonet and showered, while Krenwinkel wrote "Rise" and "Death to Pigs" on the wall. And then they also wrote "Helter Skelter." Wrong. They spelled it wrong. It actually says "Helter Skelter" on the refrigerator door.
Hail Satan. Hail Satan.
Our soft and silky Lord.
Silky.
Man, can you at least spell the thing you're bastardizing right?
Right. If you're trying to make a statement, at least, know how to spell it.
Like
fucking Dom. just going out there.
God damn
it. It was the Skeeter Peter Manson family.
There's a Skeeter on my Peter. Whack it off.
Spells it wrong.
Oh shit.
That's how Charlie came up with Willie. Skeeter Peter Manson family.
So she apparently gave Lino 14 puncture wounds with an ivory handled 2-tined carving fork, which she actually left jutting out of his stomach. She also planted a steak knife in his throat. Meanwhile, Manson drove the other 3 family members who had departed Spawn with him that evening to the Venice home of Saladin Nadir. Manson left them there and drove back to Spawn Ranch, leaving them and the LaBianca killers to hitchhike home.
Was he in a Baja Bug or was he in a regular Volkswagen? Because they had a lot of Volkswagens out there.
I think Baja Bugs would have been way too cool for him.
Yeah.
They didn't have Siri to help them with their spelling back in those days.
No, they didn't. Someone
Back
there.
in my day, we just had to spell out of our head.
Urka.
Came in on the name Manson. Well,
danced in on the name Manson is what you meant to say.
God damn it. So, according to Kasabian, Manson wanted his followers to murder Nadir in his apartment, but Kasabian claims she thwarted this murder by deliberately knocking on the wrong apartment door and waking a stranger. The group abandoned the murder plan and left, but Atkins took a crap in the stairwell. No joke on the way out.
Well, you got to go. You got to go. I know he was doing it to be an ass, but whatever. Or to add.
She.
Sorry.
Yep. Yeah. So, wow.
We'll stop at the murders because that trial is going to be long.
The trial's going to be really long.
And fun. Like really fun.
Wait, I censored myself? When?
Shame on you, Akia.
I don't remember this.
Oh, we're not going to go into
Baby?
detail with the child.
No.
Everyone
Oh,
knows
yeah.
what happens.
She just got here.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So 35-year-old Hollywood stuntman Donald Jerome Shorty Shea was murdered on August 26, 1969, more than 2 weeks after the Tate and LaBianca murders. When Manson told Shea, Bruce Davis, Tex Watson, and Steve Grogan to go on a ride to a nearby car parts yard on Spawn Ranch. According to Davis, he sat in the back with Grogan, who then hit Shea with a pipe wrench while Tex stabbed him, because that's obviously his MO.
Yeah.
They brought Shea down a hill behind the ranch and stabbed and brutally tortured him to death.
Jeez.
Bruce Davis recalled his.
You could tell they're escalating like big time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Tex was definitely on berserk mode right now.
Yeah.
He was right. He's the one he was the serial killer.
He's the one that I've always considered to be the
think
serial
so.
killer.
Yeah.
If Tex wasn't here, this is another thing. I don't think Manson would have went this far. But he had a certified serial killer part of his cult.
That's true. Well, I don't know. Yeah.
He would have been spouting shit off in the desert, and they might have killed one person, maybe, but
Probably by accident.
yeah, I don't think they would have went as far as they did if Tex was not there, because Tex was really the ringleader here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This shit.
Well, so Bruce Davis actually recalled at his parole hearing, I was in the car when Steve Grogan hit Shorty with the pipe wrench. Charles Watson stabbed him. I was in the back seat with Grogan. They took Shorty out. They had to go down the hill to a place. I stayed in the car for quite a while, but then I went down the hill later. I'm literally reading it verbatim later on.
It's fine.
And that's when I cut Shorty on the shoulder with a knife, and he was, well, I don't know. I don't know if he was dead or not. He didn't bleed when I cut him on the shoulder. When I showed up, he was incapacitated. I don't know if you asked if he was unconscious. I don't know. He may or may not have been. He didn't seem conscious. He wasn't moving or saying anything. And it started off, Manson handed me a machete as if I was supposed to. I mean, I know what he wanted, but, I couldn't do that. And I, in fact, did touch Shorty Shea with a machete on the back of his neck.
Didn't touch him
but I didn't break the skin. I mean, I just couldn't do it. And then I threw the knife, and he handed me a bayonet, and I just reached over, and I don't know which side it was on, but I cut him right about here. He was pointing on the shoulder, just with the tip of the blade, sort of saying, "Are you satisfied, Charlie?" And I turned around and walked away. And I was sick for about 2 or 3 days. I mean, I couldn't even think about what I had done.
Who was this that was saying this?
This was Bruce Davis.
Bruce Davis. Okay.
So in December of 1977, Shea's skeletal remains were discovered on a nondescript hillside near Santa Susana Road, next to Spawn Ranch, after Grogan, one of the ones that was convicted of the murder, agreed to aid authorities in the recovery of Shea's body by drawing a map to its location. According to the autopsy report, his body suffered multiple stab and chopping wounds to the chest and blunt force trauma to the head. Yeah, that's pretty awful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Dude's arm must have been sore from all the stabbing, right?
Well, I mean, with all the sex and chlamydia, I think his arm was actually pretty muy bonita. No.
Do you feel bonita?
It was very moist.
It was very moist.
Tell me you feel bonita.
I just completely messed up that.
So we're going to end with the suspected murders.
Why don't we, you know what? We can get into the suspected murders with.
This is pretty fast, actually.
5 hours later.
Okay.
Tyler comes back in right now. Watch.
In total, Manson and his followers were convicted of 9 counts of first-degree murder. However, the LAPD believes that the family could have claimed up to at least 12 more victims. Cliff Shepard, a former LAPD robbery homicide division detective, said that Manson repeatedly claimed to have killed many others. Prosecutor Stephen Kay supported this assertion. I know that Manson one time told one of his cellmates that he was responsible for 35 murders. Tate's younger sister, Deborah Tate, has also claimed that investigators are just scraping the surface when it comes to the number of Manson's victims, and has further elaborated on how Manson sent her a taunting map of the Panamint Range with crosses on it that she believed were meant to represent buried bodies. This has resulted in several excavations that have been undertaken at Manson's Barker Ranch, but they have not yet resulted in bodies being found.
This was just them in court or in custody, just causing issues.
Yeah.
Once they got popped that it was just, they're going to jail. They knew all this. So the minute they got pulled in there, this is where you got them singing, running through the court, all this other stuff, everything that we're going to get into. It was all for show.
So here's the list of the people that they believe that the Manson family also killed. Nancy Warren, 64, and Clyda Delaney, 24, were both found near Ukiah, which is a city here in California, at the antique store owned by Warren on October 13th, 1968. They had both been beaten and strangled to death with 36 leather thongs.
What is it with these leather thongs?
After the family members were arrested, they became suspects when it was discovered that members of the family had been in the Ukiah area at the time of the murders. However, no one in the family has ever been charged with the murders, and no arrests were ever made in this case. Marina Elizabeth Habe, 17. She was murdered December 13th, 1968. She was a student at the University of Hawaii, home on vacation when she was murdered in Los Angeles. According to the autopsy report, Habe's throat had been slashed. She had received numerous knife wounds to the chest. She suffered multiple contusions to the face and throat and had been garroted. There was no evidence of rape. No evidence. Habe was abducted outside of the home of her mom in West Hollywood on Cynthia Avenue. A former Manson family associate claimed members of the family had known Habe, and it was conjecture that she had been one of their victims.
The garrote throws it off.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they didn't try something else.
Well, let me throw this out there too. Okay, so yeah, I get the whole Manson family thing, but the thing going back to Tex, okay, Tex didn't just get on drugs and start doing this stuff.
Yeah.
When you start killing people the way that he did with absolutely no empathy whatsoever, regardless of whether he was high as hell on drugs or not, that's something you have to perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And who's to say that some of these weren't Tex out on his own doing this shit?
Oh, yeah.
I would believe that more than anything. I just don't believe Charles Manson did any of this.
This could have been like him not even knowing anything, like even.
Oh, exactly.
You know what I'm
saying? There were times where he did leave the ranch. He did go off and do his own thing. They weren't always around Charlie all the time. They did go off and do other stuff. They were sent out to do things. So it is very possible, even when Manson would send him out to do stuff, that he was like, okay, I'm going to go get my rocks off here for a second while I'm doing whatever Manson wants me to do.
Well, right. Darwin Morrell Scott, 64, Manson's uncle.
Okay, that was definitely never mind.
That's too much of a coincidence.
Colonel Scott's brother.
Okay, yeah, that is okay. They were definitely angry. That's why they did use the garrote. Never mind.
On May 27th, 1969, Scott was found brutally stabbed to death in his Ashland, Kentucky apartment. His body was pinned to the kitchen floor with a butcher's knife, and he had been stabbed 19 times. After Manson's arrest, it was reported that local residents claimed to have seen a man resembling Manson using the alias Preacher in the area at the time Darwin was murdered. Manson was on parole in California at the time of the murder, but the murder occurred when Manson was out of touch with his parole officers.
Possible, but that's more, he always unleashed his dog, which was Tex.
Yeah.
So,
and plus all the
I often wonder if Manson himself really had the gonads to actually do something like I think
I've
he
thought
liked
that myself.
other people to do things for him.
Yeah, that's
It-
what I thought too.
He never gets his hands dirty. Ever.
Mark Waltz, 16, was an acquaintance of the family members and was even a known associate with them at Spawn Ranch. On July 17th, 1969, Waltz hitchhiked to the Santa Monica Pier so he could go fishing. His fishing pole was found abandoned at the pier, and his body was found the next day near Mulholland Drive.
Wow.
That's quite a distance if you didn't know. He had been shot 3 times in the chest. Though the family was reportedly shocked by his murder, his brother was convinced that Manson was responsible for his death and even called him in order to directly accuse him of this murder. Los Angeles Sheriff's Department investigated Spawn Ranch in regards to Walt's murder, but no links were found and the murder was never solved. John Philip Zero Hout, 22. He was from Ohio and he moved to California and met Manson in the summer of 69. He joined the Manson family and was amongst the group who was arrested in the October raid of the family for the Tate and LaBianca murders. Manson suspected him of being an informant. On November 5th, 1969, Hout was associating with some members of the family. According to all present, Hout suddenly found a gun in the room, picked it up, and promptly shot himself while attempting to play a game of Russian roulette. However, when the police investigated the death, they found that the gun, rather than having 0 bullets and 1 spent shell casing, instead contained 7 bullets and 1 spent shell.
They got someone to play Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Spin just popped in.
Spin! Yep. Charlie.
Here. So there's
Good Morgan.
Hexus is obviously, doing a terrible German accent. I gotta come in here.
I have to come in. I have to correct this.
Hello, Sven.
So, however, when the police investigated the death, they found that the gun, rather than having 0 bullets and 1 spent shell casing, instead contained 7 bullets and 1 spent shell. Moreover, the gun had been wiped free of prints. Additionally, a male witness who had held Hout's head after the shooting told Cohen he had entered the room to find a female Manson follower with the gun in her hand. Despite this, the police concluded that he killed himself.
Well, technically he did.
Yeah.
I mean, she might as well have him in a semi-automatic. Hey, you want to play Russian roulette? What?
Right?
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered how many bullets were in it.
You didn't spin the cylinder to see how many rounds. I mean, first of all, you're playing Russian roulette. What the fuck is wrong with you? Second of all, you didn't spin the cylinder to see how many rounds was in there.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm not bashing him.
James Sharp, 15, Doreen Gall, 19. They were both found stabbed to death in an alley in Los Angeles on November 7th, 1969. The murder of the 2 young Scientologists involved both being stabbed around 50 or 60 times. Police
That's
immediately
because
noted.
they put those little things in Manson's hands when he fell asleep.
Yep.
I can't get over that.
The cans, man, the cans.
Hey, y'all, waking up right now. Let's do this.
So the police did immediately note the similarities of these murders to the Tate and LaBianca murders. The killings of Sharp and Gall happened close to where the LaBiancas lived. In Helter Skelter, author Vincent Bugliosi wrote that Gall was rumored to be a former girlfriend of the Manson family member Bruce Davis. Davis had lived in the same housing complex as Gall, but in a police interview, he denied even knowing her. Of course. We did!
The first episode.
Our first episode, we talked about the connection between Uncle Charlie, the CIA, MK Ultra, and LSD.
Charles Manson Part 1. Not our first episode. That was Richard Ramirez, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or Rocktario. I don't remember.
Have a great night.
Have a good night. Thank you for coming.
So, Reet Jurvetson, 19, was a young woman found stabbed to death on November 16th, 1969. Her body was found with over 150 stab wounds, from a penknife to her neck and upper body, along with defensive wounds on her hands and arms.
Her neck must have been nothing after that. If that was 150, they specified that.
I don't.
Something about that just makes me feel like that's a female on female murder.
That sounds like
does.
it. She had been disposed of along Mulholland Drive, where Habe was.
Okay, real fast.
Oh
Anybody,
no, not Habe.
Anybody using a penknife with that many stab wounds has got to have so many cuts on their hands. They had to have gone to the ER that night. I mean,
unless you were just high as shit and went back to the
that's true.
back to the ranch. I'm sure they were used to like patching people up.
But that's major. A penknife it's an actual pin that you pull apart, and there's a knife in there. There's no friction on that to no grip on that to hold you, so you to hold the knife in your hand, so it's going to get bloody. Yeah. You're going to slip, and then every single time you do that, it's going to cut your
times.
Like it's going to cut that part of your palm. That part.
Well, so some witnesses actually claimed to have seen a woman named Sherry who matched Reed's description among members of the Manson family, but it turned out that this individual was alive. So Manson himself denied any involvement in killing Reed. Detectives within Los Angeles Police Department have noted striking similarities between the method of murder of both Reed and Habe, but no firm connection between both murders have ever been established.
There's also
and those were both ones that were dumped out on Mulholland Drive, right?
Yes.
There's something else we have to take into consideration with the Manson family. It was also a revolving door too. There was a lot of people coming in, but there was only like a core 100 members. But at the start, but even still going out to Spawn Ranch, they were hippies. They had they brought people out there too. So there's a lot of there's possibility that a lot of these murders were caused by people just coming out there, hanging out with them, and then going off and doing their own thing.
Oh, very much so. Because I mean, just because the Mansons were in the area doesn't mean that there weren't other people in the area too.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. And I was actually
that were completely independent and not connected to the Manson family at all.
I did want to note that.
Oh, that's.
I'm starting to think that Marina and Reed might have been associated with the Manson family, but it had nothing to do with Tex.
Yeah.
Like I think those two, it could have been associated with the Manson family killings, but I don't think it was Tex because it really screams a chick did it.
Yeah, it does to me too. I don't know what about it, but it does.
This list will be quick,
and
right?
You see what Finn put down.
Yeah,
you flip when you hit a bone.
Hit bone.
That's true.
He's all,
oh. Oh no.
I only know this from
Sven, are you
cooking,
a serial
barbecuing?
Killer? Are you the penknife serial killer, Sven?
The letter opener.
You're the letter opener. I've come to open your letter, ladies.
Open that envelope. Here comes the chlamydia.
That should be a
not
porno.
you, Sven. No, not you. We were talking about Team Chlamydia, which is the Manson family. Sorry.
Manson family, aka Team Chlamydia.
There you go.
Existential chlamydia.
I can't. Right now, you guys are being too demanding.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
So Joel Pugh, 29, was found dead in the Talgarth Hotel in London, England. Okay. On December, I want to know where this goes because I don't know about this one. He was found dead in the Talgarth Hotel in London on December 1st, 1969. His wrist had been cut. His throat had been slit twice. British authorities listed the death as a drug-induced suicide, saying that he had been depressed. How do you? But Pugh was a family member who was married to another member of the family, Sandra Good.
Technically, you only got to get one artery, so you don't need to go all the way across. Usually, what happens though, but if you do,
where's my Prozac? If
you do it that way to end your life, you do start having convulsions when you hit that.
Oh well, So
you don't finish the job usually.
To be fair, he was a Manson family member.
Okay.
And he was actually married to another member named Sandra Good.
So he offed himself in London.
What was he doing in London?
Well,
I mean, most of these people were like beggars and prostitutes and thieves and lived out at Spawn Ranch.
How did they get a proper British gentleman to come out the Spawn Ranch?
Well, Stephen Kay and others claim Manson hated Pugh. He had no reason to commit suicide, and Manson was very unhappy that Sandy was with him. Kay said.
It so sounded like you said pube.
I said Pug.
I know, but it almost made me giggle. I'm sorry.
That might,
Pubes.
it might be
Manson
pube.
hated pube.
He hated pubes.
Did he?
Probably.
They
I
got
would
stuck in his
believe that.
teeth.
Fuck London.
Fuck London.
Vice
I
is no
concur.
longer a UKN. In UKEN. She is now American.
So, Manson was very unhappy that Sandy was with him. And Pugh's death occurred when a number of Manson family members were being arrested for the Tate and LaBianca murders. But guess who was in London?
The Ripper. Jack the Ripper was there.
Bruce Davis.
Really?
He was in London at the time.
Huh.
British are pretty good with blades. Hell nah, I'm not a UKian.
I'll tell you what the
Oh, I thought
British
you
is
said a
not good with.
Ukrainian.
Ukrainian.
It kind of looks like that, actually.
I know it.
So, Ronald Hughes, 35, was an American attorney who represented Leslie Van Houten, a member of the Manson
Good
family.
God, there's so many of them.
I
Yep.
think this one is legit then.
Hughes
I
dis-
remember reading about this one.
Ronald Hughes disappeared while on a camping trip during a 10-day recess from the Tate LaBianca murder trial in November of 1970. The badly decomposed body of Ronald Hughes was found in March of 71, wedged between two boulders in Ventura County. It was rumored, although never proven, that Hughes was murdered by the family, possibly because he had stood up to Manson and refused to allow Van Houten to take the stand and absolve Manson of the crimes, though he might have perished in flooding.
Too
They
much
don't know.
coincidence.
Attorney Stephen Kay has stated that while he is on the fence about the family's involvement in Hughes' death, Manson had open contempt for Hughes during the trial. Kay added, the last thing Manson said to Hughes was, "I don't want to see you in the courtroom again." And he was never seen alive again. Family member Sandra
Huh.
Good stated that Hughes was the first of the retaliation murders.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it goes back to the hand signals.
He's directing them.
Correct.
Could he have been a Navajo code breaker in another life?
Cherokee?
Cherokee,
No,
No.
Navajo.
the Windtalkers, yeah. In World War II. Could he have been? And no one's cracked the code yet. Not one bit. If that's true, this is going to be more than freaking the Zodiac.
Three
like
more.
this is going to be like this is going to be if there is a code
The
there. and there's a
secret
code to
hand
crack,
signals of Manson.
Yeah. Could there possibly
Sue.
been sanity in his hand movements?
I don't know.
Sue, the Windtalkers in World War II. I'm probably fucking that
World War
up.
II.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Navajo too.
I thought it was a Navajo. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass. I don't know.
Code breakers or the code makers.
Code makers. There you go. It was something weird along those lines. Okay, we're almost
No,
done.
yeah, that's what it. If they
On November 8th.
sorry, Odd Mother. I heard Akia go. Okay. I was like, that's why I was like, we're almost done. Okay, we're
On
done.
November 8th, 1972, the body of 26-year-old Vietnam Marine combat veteran James Lambert Thompson Willett was found by a hiker near, I don't even know where this is.
What part are you on? I didn't see. where you were-
Guerneville?
Show me.
Ooh.
It's here in California, and I don't even know what it is. Oh, it's in Sonoma.
Where is Sonoma at again? Is that Northern California?
Yeah. So
That's why it's up there.
months earlier,
All
he had
those-
been forced to dig his own grave. And then he was shot and poorly buried.
Months. There were a few months apart from this.
Before they found him.
Oh,
Months
Oh.
before they
I
found
mean,
him.
like, I'm not going back to that spot where I had to dig my own grave. I'm sorry, it ain't happening.
could you imagine the anxiety of him if that happened? Like if he dug his own grave first, and they're like, "Well, he might be back." I don't know.
I didn't have to breathe into a bag.
I don't think I could exist anymore. I think I would probably just leave. They just made me dig my own grave. I survived.
to
I'm leaving.
So
Right?
That's where that
he
song
dug
came
his own
from.
grave, and he was then shot and poorly buried. His station wagon was found outside a house in Stockton where several Manson followers were living, including Priscilla Cooper, Lynn Fromm, and Nancy Pittman. Police forced their way into the house and arrested several of the people there. The body
Sorry.
of Willett,
My cat was being an asshole.
19-year-old.
Sorry.
Oh wow!
I saw you doing that with your because the
I
notes
saw
are
this.
the notes are covering everything up, but I can see everything down in the lower hand corner where we have the small. Yeah, I can see that
That's why
right
I
now.
giggled.
But I saw you freeze for a second. I was like, "Don't!" I was about to say, "Don't do it, Autumn. Your internet's working right now."
So, as if there was, I don't understand how they didn't actually decide to tie this to them. So when they got into the house, the body of Willett's 19-year-old wife, Lauren Chevelle Olmsted Willett, was found buried in the basement. She had been killed very recently by a gunshot to the head, and what the family members initially claimed was an accident. It was later suggested that she was killed out of fear that she would reveal who killed her husband. Michael Montfort pled guilty to murdering
confused.
Lauren and Priscilla Cooper. James Craig and Nancy Pittman pled guilty as accessories after the fact. Montfort and William Goucher later pled guilty to the murder of James, and James Craig pled guilty as an accessory after the fact. The group had been living in the house with the Willets while committing various robberies. Shortly after killing Willett, Montfort had used Willett's identification papers to pose as him after being arrested for armed robbery of a liquor store. Willett was not involved in the robberies and wanted to move away, but was killed out of fear that he would talk to the police.
You know, if there was a case that is the very definition of the tangle web we weave, it's
Right.
that one right there, because I am
Oh, yeah.
so confused.
Basically, a bunch of the family members lived there. They killed them both. But for some reason, they were never charged with it.
Oh, wow.
I think
Lawrence-
probably Manson's parole officer was on the case.
Probably. That's what it seems like.
Hey,
Lauren
he said,
Merritt-
I know. Look, my brother works in the police department. I know a guy. I'm just playing. I don't know that.
I just, how much LSD do you have to take to become so stupid? Don't tell me I know.
We've been. I've said that several times.
I
I
was
think.
a
I think
spider.
Odd Mother said it a million times through this, and so was a call. Both episodes. We're still got another episode to go after this.
All right. Lawrence Merrick, 50. He was an American film director and author. He's best known for co-directing the Oscar-nominated documentary Manson in 1973. Sharon Tate was a former student of Merrick's Academy of Dramatic Arts. Merrick was killed by a gunman on January 26, 1977. He was shot in the back in the car park of his acting school. It had to say car park.
Well, it was an acting school, so they're not going to say it's a parking lot.
It's a car park.
Vice.
Gonna be fancy.
It's not a
car park.
car park.
It is a car park.
It's not a motorway. It's a freeway.
It's a
Just
car
kidding.
park. Merrick's murder was unsolved until October of 1981 when 35-year-old Dennis Mignano confessed to police. At his subsequent trial, Mignano was found not guilty by reason of insanity and committed to a mental hospital. He was unemployed, and he was an unemployed would-be actor and singer with a long history of psychiatric problems and possible prior relationship with the Manson clan.
That would
So-
cause those
so-
problems.
I want to ask though, like after the Mansons went to prison and everything, and I know we're going to get into all that, did the so-called leftover Manson family, did they stay together? I mean, were there any Manson family there afterwards? Like, was it
Yes.
an ongoing thing without Manson and the core group?
It said that he was. It said that he was calling shots from prison.
Oh, really? Okay.
He actually was. The murder I was talking about earlier, because did they catch Tex right away? I don't think they
No.
did. I think it took like another 6 months to a year to catch him.
Oh, really?
I could be wrong, but
Well,
but there was that other murder I was talking about. I think it was like actually in Texas or something like that, and they did link that one to them. It was
Okay.
there was a lot of retaliation that Manson was directing from prison.
so I'm gonna get to the last one after this. Listen here, you motherfuck. It's a motorway. It is a car park, and there's such thing as a fucking trolley.
Hey, seriously,
All right, but Vice, you can't drive in a driveway and you can't park on a parkway.
and this is America. It's motherfucker, not motherfuck.
It's motherfuck. Motherfuck. I should have
bother beach. I do you. I blow you, then I blow you. What?
Oh, there's so many movies we gotta watch tonight.
I know that's freaking Bad
It's
Boys,
a buggy, not a trolley.
and it's not a garage; it's a car hole.
Car park.
A car hole. What?
Car hole.
A car hole. I'm gonna park my car in a car hole. I hope I don't get chlamydia on my tire.
Okay. The next two comments right there. Okay, she says, "Don't do it, Tyler. Shut the fuck up." I'm pretty sure she's telling Tyler to shut the fuck up right
You
now because he's
bitch
about to
bag.
do something.
Loser fuckers. I'm heading to bed. See you mofos tomorrow. At the
See you
airport.
tomorrow, Tyler.
See you tomorrow.
We're almost done here anyway.
So 6 months after the Merrick murder,
This is it.
Mignano's sister, Michelle Mignano,
Wait, no, this isn't it.
what a 21-year-old topless dancer, was also murdered. Her body was found on June 13th, 1977, 350 feet into the Western Pacific Railroad Tunnel in Niles Canyon.
She refused
okay.
to take the chlamydia.
We're
Refused.
talking murders here. So how topless was she? Because I'm assuming there is no torso.
No, she was a topless
Yeah,
dancer.
was she like, topless that then she wasn't wearing something to cover the bosoms, or was the top half of her missing?
Yeah, because
She
topless
she
according
danced and shook her nanas.
topless according to the
okay.
Ripper crew, the Chicago Ripper crew, it means there's boobies being cut off.
So six months later, her body was found, and the authorities referred to her death as an execution-style slaying, with her dying from exsanguination due to multiple gunshot wounds. A number of bullet cartridges were found near her body. Casings. She was shoeless yet fully clothed with jewelry, no sexual assault, and robbery was also ruled out as a motive. Her murder's never been officially solved.
Yeah, that's not them.
So,
You want to get into the investigation next time?
next time, I know.
Yeah.
So next episode of You Can't Sit With Us, we are going to get into the investigation as well as the disruptions, the trial, and all of it. Just all of it. So, even psychology. And yeah, so make sure to tune in next time for You Can't Sit With Us.
It's going to be very much a lighter episode. We got through the murder and all the fucked up shit in this one.
All right.
Well, the trial and the shenanigans are going to be something else. I did want to announce something though before we tie it up here.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead.
like right now?
Yeah, go. We're done.
Oh, okay. So I have been in touch with the crazy folks over at Pick Witch, and they wanted me to play a little short clip of something that will be coming very soon. We don't know when, so you guys just keep an eye on the website, and because y'all will be like the second to know. We'll be the first to know. Y'all will be the second to know. But I wanted to go ahead and play this for you guys real quick. Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second.
They creep me out over there.
More fire, more heat. You are now tuned in to your number one radio station.
All right. So
Did that come from the 80s? That's rad.
yeah, I don't know.
What are they doing over
Over there, it probably did somehow.
there? Right?
And I guess one more thing. Guys, we have a costume contest going on. Submissions are being accepted now.
We've already got two, guys. We've already got two.
So send your submissions to pbunnydc@gmail.com. The submissions will end October 6th, and the contest will begin October 8th. And so winner will be the contest will end October 22nd. I put 22nd, but whatever. The winner will be announced on October 24th. 22nd.
She's getting us back right now is what she's doing because of what we do to her to Odd Mother's feeds. We just
Crack.
You know, I think we told you every now and then I play a game. We're like, can we get her to break character?
We do. We play this game.
And
we see how
you've never broken character.
I have sometimes when I do the little smirk.
It's
all right, guys. Thank you for joining us tonight. What?
I was gonna say tomorrow. Yeah, there might be.
We don't know what's
something
going
on tomorrow night.
We don't know. We don't know at this point, but we will
Depends
figure
on
it
how
out.
stoned all of us are. Yeah,
Well,
we're picking Scurry Face up tomorrow. Tyler, Erica, and Vice, and we're gonna introduce them to real California weed.
That's gonna be so much fun. You guys have a blast. I know y'all. That's
so
gonna
much
be so much
fun.
fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be busy. It's gonna be busy. Roots Bleed Red, I think,
might be delayed. But I don't
might
know.
delay. It might be delayed. It depends. If it all depends. I think
We'll
Monday,
see.
I think Monday next week. If we don't do Roots Bleed Red this weekend, it'll be definitely Monday next week. So,
All right, guys. Let me go back over here. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Have a good
the other
one.
Bye.